Hello and welcome to our 12th episode of Uncapped, where we've been lifting the lid off natural and low-tox lifestyles with essential oils for a year now. I'm Jess Raitt and my guest today is none other than Vanessa Jean Boscarello Ovens, the remarkable woman behind aromatic dressing with the most expansive heart that literally translates into every ounce of her being. And you'll no doubt hear it today in our conversation. From the very beginning, Vanessa Jean has found a true love and appreciation for nature, growing up connected to the land, the food which grows in its soil, and the animals that plant their feet on it. This way of being was second nature to Vanessa Jean and her family, living with the customs and traditions of her family culture by sharing meals, eating the way Earth intended. From these humble beginnings came a lifetime of purpose to serve others. With backgrounds in clinical aromatherapy and psychology, Vanessa Jean and her husband Paul continue to inspire people all across the globe to return to their natural state of joy, love and vitality. So pop on the kettle and make yourself a cup of cacao. Today's conversation is going to be all heart and soul. And before I introduce Vanessa Jean to the couch, I would encourage you all to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you too can get the updates each time one of our episodes launches. Welcome to the couch, Vanessa Jean. So great to have you.
So good to be here, babe.
And I could hear your giggling and your snorting almost and laughing as I was doing that introduction. And I have to warn everyone, there's going to be lots of laughter. There's going to be snorting. I promise that I won't do it, but then it's going to naturally come out.
No, let's just do it.
Let's
just let the snort fly.
And look, we are celebrating today. So there's lots of joy, there's lots of vitality, lots of heart, not only because you just permeate all of that radiance within, but also because it's our 12th episode.
Yes.
I can't believe that we've actually done it.
Yeah.
1 year of educating through inspiring conversations with our incredible leaders. So I've honoured you today. I noticed that on your website that you have all these beautiful recipes, including a raw carrot cake. So here is my version of a raw carrot cake to celebrate 1 year of Uncapped. So feel free to dig in through the conversation as well today.
Looks amazing. Thanks, babe.
But what I want to really get down into the nitty-gritty of is your beautiful history. When we were initially having this conversation, when we were doing a little bit of background data work, I was just all ears to hear about what little Vanessa Jean got up to back in Melbourne in those early years when you were growing up with your lovely family, which are so important to you.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up, talking to the plants, talking to the animals and being so immersed in nature?
Yeah. I mean, it's a great question and one that I don't even know that I can answer about what was it like because, you know, we only know what we know, right? Yeah. So that was my world. That was what I knew. And it wasn't until later that I realised that wasn't everyone's world.
Yeah.
So I think what was key here was my dad never made any of it wrong. He would just sit and we'd have beautiful conversations around it. His parents are from Sicily, so my background is Italian and Maltese. Yeah. So I have an incredible lineage through my Maltese lineage, my mum's side, and then my dad's side, Sicily in Italy. And watching my nonno, so nonno is grandfather, nonna is grandmother, okay? So watching my nonno on the land, it was like he just brought mini Italy, you know, his farm that he had in Sicily to,
heaven.
You know, good old Melbourne, Victoria. It was a little sleepy northern suburb called Lalor, and it was big land back then. And I would just watch him. And we ate seasonally. He would harvest it. My nonna would create absolute bliss with it. So all our meals were nutrient dense. There were simple, beautiful affairs of love. Like we would gather around the table and share. We would begin with prayer. We would begin with gratitude. And it just imbued something very special in my whole life with that gratitude piece. I mean, I would see him kneeling. One of the stories, and for those that have my book, I think I've written it in there as well, the book I wrote with Adam. I saw him kneeling out there one day. I was a little girl and I said to my nonna, "What's nonno doing?" And she said, "He's giving thanks to God for the harvest." And I was so I mean, I thought it was so beautiful, and obviously I was so touched by it because here I am, I'm nearly 50. That was when I was a very little girl when that happened, and I still remember that moment. You know, we have these key moments in our lives. So, medicine was made from the plants. He was incredible with herbs and herb lore. So we would make things for sprained ankles and torn ligaments and bumps and bruises and tummy things and immune system things, all from the herbs. So it was a natural way of life. And I think that connection, to go back where you asked about me conversing, connecting, communicating, communing with Mama Gaia, the animals, the plants, was then just a natural progression. It's like, well, they're my brothers and sisters. And I love that piece. And it's simple. It's just simple. I'm here to listen with the ear of my heart. And I find that working with essential oils, which I started when I was about 15, working with essential oils, having them in my life, I did exactly the same. I was just attuned to listening. So feeling their music just play through me. Those chords just sing through me.
And you can see how it just flows so naturally through you. You know, there's a lot of people in the world that don't have that beauty and that luxury of growing up in that kind of environment where you are accustomed to working with the land versus being, somewhat against it. And it reminds me of when I spoke with Adam Barralet as well, your beautiful partner in crime with the Gifts
amazing.
of the Essential Oils book.
Yes.
Isn't he just heaven? And he was saying the same thing, that for him, he didn't realise it was anything different or outside of the norm, but that's how he grew up. He was immersed with the trees, talking to them, playing with the land. And so when he started to become immersed in the essential oils and living quite naturally and holistically, it became second nature. And it's so beautiful to watch. And I'm working every day. This hasn't come naturally to me. I didn't grow up necessarily being as immersed. I mean, I definitely got my hands grubby, but not in the way that you've just described. So I love, and I'm so thankful that you've got these resources like this incredible book.
Thank you.
Because it touches on that, right? So that it can come second nature to us.
Absolutely. And just while we're on that, when Adam and I created this, it's a deep co-creation. We very much wanted to be in that place of honoring the plants, the spirit of the plants, because who are we to say? But see, everything also, it goes through our filter. So I think the first thing I'd say to listeners and viewers of this beautiful podcast is trust yourself, trust your connection with the plants. Just because I've said, or Adam said, or Jody Naylor, and Frank, just because any of us have said something, remember that that's coming through our hearts, our filters, our experience. And yours may be very different. You may have a whole other connection and relationship with the spirit of that plant and that essential oil.
That is so true, and that's such an important point because it really is always through our own lens.
Yes.
And some people are drawn to the earthy aromas. Some people think that that's just absolutely disgusting. That smells like dirt. Other people are really taken with the citrus, and so it really is in the eye of the beholder. But also, and I'm so glad that you brought this up because this ties in beautifully to our incredible product that we will be talking about today, lemongrass, because sometimes it's the oil or the aroma that isn't tickling your fancy, that you almost don't want to go near, that is the oil that you sometimes need the most.
Sometimes. I also think we need to be mindful to not have everyone believe that because I'm rejecting it or because I don't like it, that means I need it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm very passionate about this.
Great.
So my background's in clinical aromatherapy.
Yes.
Right? So that's my, let's say, official qualification. However, my passion and my joy from growing up and as an adult is very much in what we as aromatherapists call subtle aromatherapy and what the everyday person would call spiritual aromatherapy, right? So many people are familiar with, the connection with the essential oils and the emotions, right? So the body, we have this physical body and we have these subtle bodies, right? Which, depending on your belief system, people can call an aura or, there's so many names. But basically, this physical body inhabits the spirit. The spirit is timeless. It's limitless. It's not bound by anything, right? And we all have that divine spark within us. So that means we have this intelligence, this intuition that we can lean into. So sometimes the question is when I take this bottle and I lift the lid and I inhale, what I like to have my clients look at is how do you feel when you inhale that? Where do you feel it go in your body? Now, when I smell lemongrass today, I'm going to say I feel very calm and I feel uplifted. Mm-hmm. So that can feel like a bit of a juxtaposition, right? Mm. I feel it go straight down into my lungs and hit my solar plexus. I'm feeling more balanced, grounded, calm. Another day I might go, holy, that is too much today. Be like geranium for me. Yeah. Right? Bit like that.
I know exactly what you mean.
So because I'm rejecting it that particular day doesn't necessarily mean I need it. Yeah, sure. It's my body system, myself saying there might be something else that serves me today. So though I don't want to discredit those that are saying it's what you need, etc., I also want to open another door that says, can we trust ourselves more? Or can we take that and maybe place it with some vetiver and see what happens then? If you picked this up, because it depends on the purpose, if you picked this up to just help soothe your nervous system, because lemongrass can do that, right? To soothe your nervous system, how about pairing it with something like vetiver and see how that smells? So we take a grass and we take a root and feel that. And maybe you want to add a touch of ylang-ylang to that, or wild orange to that, or bergamot to that, or frankincense to that, or just the two. So sometimes actually the art in blending them, creating synergies, is actually going to help you to use the essential oil you want for whatever reason. Because I find people pick it up and they get all excited, maybe with the science, or maybe with the energetics, or maybe I've heard that this can help with, my sore knee. Oh my gosh, is that what it smells like? Disgusting. And I'll say, how about you just add 1 drop to your carrier oil and add maybe a drop of lemongrass to that, and a couple of drops of copaiba, and see how you feel with that. How does that smell? How does that affect you? Right?
Beautiful.
So yeah, just that mindfulness that we have this innate intelligence in us. Yeah. And we have an intuition. We have this guiding force in us that will sometimes point the arrow to something else, or to enhancing it with some other essential oils. So you still get the gifts from it. Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And gosh, it's so beautiful. I'm so glad that we have all these cameras capturing what you just did. You are so beautiful in the way that you deliver these messages as well. It's very, and I knew that this conversation was going to be emotional anyway, and that's why I've got Rose Touch in my handbag today, and I lathered myself in it because I wanted to be really open to this experience. And what you just did not only inspired me to look at the different ways that I'm using the essential oils, but also to trust my instincts, trust my gut. Yes. Because sometimes our heart and our mind might be telling us different things. Yeah. And sometimes you really need to look deep in to go, hang on, what do I actually need? Or what is my nostrils telling me smells beautiful?
Absolutely.
That's, I'm just responding simply to that.
I love to come back to simplicity. Can you just take that essential oil bottle and take off the lid and inhale it often and much? Let that be one of your daily practices. Let your devotion, whether that's prayer, meditation, chanting, yoga, exercise, whatever it is, let it be paired with the inhalation of an essential oil, or oils that you bring together as a blend, or an existing blend. Like Coast with lemongrass in it. Yeah. Coast is incredible. You know, Coast has this synergy of essential oils. So anyone who feels a bit repelled by lemongrass might feel super drawn to something like Coast. Because as you diffuse essential oils, the layers come off. It's like a song. So, you know, most people know now in today's day and age that essential oils can be categorized as notes. Top, middle, and base, or heart notes, head notes. So lemongrass is a top note. If you have lots of top notes in the blend with lemongrass. It can sit top to middle, right? What the top note means is it's going to flash off the fastest. You're going to smell it first. It's going to be like the soprano singer coming in and bold and strong and taking your breath away. There's a quick emotive response. There's a quick response mentally, right? So when you create a synergistic blend with essential oils, these notes come together and they create a song or this melody. And that melody weaves its way into your world, your home, your workspace, your body. And you'll be touched and blessed by the different notes in your unique way, just as I will be in my unique way. So when you begin to pair and create synergies, and you could even take your Coast blend and add other essential oils to it, that's okay. There's no right or wrong, because your nose knows the way, right? It's going to guide you.
So in your incredible book, which I must admit I am really eager to trawl properly through, because there's just so much information. It is really incredible. But I really love how you've got these key statements at the top. So for lemongrass, you do say that it is the oil of conscious action, which really intrigues me. So I'd love to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we have 3 keywords, and one of them is, as you said, conscious action. And that conscious action is actually because so let's take one step back. The chemistry of lemongrass is actually pretty yummy, right? So our lemongrass is sourced in southern India because there's more water there. There's more rain there. It's, I don't know how many meters up, 8,000 or whatever, I'm not sure, but it's harvested high up. They carry it down the mountain on their head, like literally carrying it on their heads. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
The reason they source it from there is because it ends up with a higher citral content. Now, the citral is from like monoterpene family. So we have nerol and geraniol in there, which is where a lot of people go, oh, lemongrass, great for skin. I just want to pop a pin in what we were saying there and say, hang on, y'all, if you're using it on your skin, less is more. Because it's quite, it can be, imagine it's kind of more like a hot oil than cooling oil. So for sensitive skin it can be a little strong.
Yes.
So 1 drop in 10 mils, say, when you're creating combinations, start with that and then see how that goes. So anyway, so we have this beautiful essential oil with this high citral content. Now, lemongrass I touched on, so based on the chemistry that I'm speaking to, that it can uplift us and help to quieten the nervous system, quiet the mind, right? So when you are looking to create conscious action that takes you into a space where your mind, your dreams, your passions are aligned with your why, your joys. The passions are born in the heart. Your why is born from your heart. Your mind helps you to get intentional. And then if you think about your belly, your womb, that beautiful cauldron of goodness is so beautiful to align with the heart and the mind, because this is where you can carry your actions forward. So if we look at conscious action, what does that mean? I'm consciously choosing how to step forward. So how to step forward in my life. I'm choosing a more natural way of living. I'm choosing essential oils as our go-to. So like my why with doTERRA is to touch and bless as many lives as I can, with a particular emphasis actually on the children. Because I want, like how, my kids have this as well. It's like they have their own box of essential oils as their go-to. They've had this growing up and they can choose what they want and confidently select the oils and blend. And I'm not over them saying, you don't blend that with that. Some of Ariel, our daughter, some of her blend combinations when she was small growing up blew me away. And they smelled incredible. I would never think to put those things together, let's say. And I think you'll find that with your kids, right? And lots of us can. So when you are working with essential oils and your life in a conscious way, things begin to change with your health, your mental health, your emotional health. It's the same with business. If you use lemongrass for conscious co-creation, collaborations, conscious action to align with your intentions, to align with your passions and whys, and the will forces can align with that, something shifts.
Oof.
Something big happens. And actually lemongrass, like you can look at Doctrine of Signatures, back from the 1500s, and the Bible even mentions it, that God created, God created the animals, the plants, everything, let's say, for those that believe it. And for those that don't, I don't mean to offend anyone. So if you look at lemongrass, it's a blade of grass. So I've told you how the chemistry, very simply, it's not a chemistry chat, you can relate that to how it can support your mental and emotional health. You can look at how the chemistry, how it supports you physically, can help spiritually and emotionally. So let's say physically, the chemistry of lemongrass can help with inflammation. It can help with pain, right? So any inflamed emotions or painful emotions, you can look to lemongrass to supporting you. See how there's that beautiful relationship? It's like simplifying chemistry. Let's not make this too, oh my gosh, I can't do essential oils because I don't know the chemistry. You can. You don't need to know any chemistry at all. You can just sink in with them. So that's part A. Part B, if we look at that blade of grass. So when we think of a blade, what does a blade do?
Well, it cuts.
It cuts. It cuts this beautiful cake, 12 episode anniversary cake. It cuts through things.
Yeah.
So lemongrass can be seen as this beautiful blade of light, because I always say, essential oils are like God's grace in a bottle, right? So you can look at it as this sword of light that cuts through that which no longer serves us. And let's think about how much gets in the way of conscious action, conscious co-creation. Those core wounds. It helps us to become aware of it. Lemongrass shines a light on those core wounds so that you can help, for instance, move through them. Maybe you need to seek some help to go through it, some outside help, some sort of therapist. Maybe for some, it's not as huge and the inhalation of it helps to get through it. So a lot of people in business, in our business, I find they feel like they have to be more before they can succeed at this. And often they'll go down distracting routes, like maybe I need qualifications. Maybe I need to be more. Maybe I just. Yeah. And it kind of puts the brakes on.
Yeah, it really does.
How about if you just be you?
Yeah.
How about if that's enough? Because lemongrass helps to cut through all the faff, all the density that doesn't serve you, the stuff that's preventing you from being the light of who you are, right? From lighting up that beautiful divine spark within you. Yeah? So I feel for anyone who wants to live a life that's more consciously created with the divine as your ally, these essential oils are such potent allies to bring you closer to that divine connection and the truth of who you are.
It really links the practicality. And I know when we talk about practicality with essential oils, we naturally go to, well, this is going to be a fantastic oil to pop in your spray and wipe. Or this is going to be wonderful on a little cotton round so you can get rid of the flying bugs that want to come in summer.
Sure.
And yes, the oils do that. Lemongrass can do that. But what you're really highlighting, which I think is just absolutely remarkable, is more of that umbrella approach to understanding essential oils and how not only can we trust our intuition, but we can trust our emotions and lead from a place within versus trying to rely so heavily on outside sources like education, like degrees, like positions of power to even make this empowerment step to living a better life. I am so intrigued by all your blends as well. So I know that we have got a couple of blend ideas, or some oils rather, sitting in a box next to you, because I want to give you the stage. How would you use lemongrass to serve some of those blockages, for example?
Yeah, some of those beliefs. So, in the break, we were talking about how, Paul and I are with this business, for instance, and it's completely heart-led. It's the only way I'll be. It's based on love. We call it our tree of love. It's the way of the soultrepreneur, because...
Soultrepreneur, oh, I love that. I haven't heard that one yet.
Because it allows people to be the truth of who they are. right? So to be in that space, sometimes it can be really tough for people. You know, they haven't really necessarily grown up with that love around them.
Yeah.
Or trusting in love as the foundation. They've bought into the belief that to be successful, you've got to hustle, you've got to do. Now, education has its place. I'm all for education. It's just, let's not use that as a distraction to prevent us from succeeding, whether that's in a doTERRA business or as a teacher or as a medic, whatever it may be. So often what can be really beautiful to help get us in the heart space are the florals. So in our book, we break the essential oils into elements. So the florals the floral queendom sit in the water element. So it's the water of your emotions, and emotions are energy in motion, emotion. We move with the emotions. And I feel like they get a bit of a bad rap.
Yeah.
Don't let your emotions rule you. You know. So what the floral queendom come in and do and say, they just really say, can you just trust in your heart space? What would happen if you grew from that space? So if I took some lang-ylang and some cedarwood, which is the earth element, right, comes from the tree. The cedarwood comes from the heartwood. So what we use is the Virginia cedarwood, not the Atlas cedarwood, not the Atlas. So this beautiful cedarwood from the heartwood brings us right into that space of connection and community and the love that humans intrinsically have to connect with each other. And then you add lang-ylang, which is that childlike wonder and awe. That opens the channels of gratitude. That opens our hearts more deeply. And then the lemongrass who's going to say, let me be your guiding light. Let me help you co-create miracles with the divine. So imagine putting a couple of drops of each in the diffuser and having that going while you're creating, you know, while you're working. I think we're blessed in this doTERRA business. A lot of us say, this is our work. Doesn't really feel like work. It's our passion. It's our love, right? So we have earth and we have air, which is the leaf oils, this beautiful grass, and we have water. So stabilizing, grounding, connecting, working with the heart, working with the mind. The air is the mind, so conscious creations, conscious intention. Consciously coming into the heart space, consciously connecting and aligning and grounding and bringing that into an embodied form, like a business, like a new way of life, living more naturally.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued to smell this blend as well. I'm going to be madly jotting all of these ideas down after this segment as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, a little personal story. I remember when you came to our old offices around about 4 years ago when I first started with doTERRA. And like I mentioned earlier, I haven't come from this world or this understanding of what nature can provide for us. So it was a very foreign kind of concept to me. But like you said, as soon as you smell and experience the aroma of these essential oils, something changed in me. And I will forever remember my first day because I was just immersed in these incredible aromas that made me feel very welcomed, very loved. I say this all the time now. I found home with this company. And then I think it was around about my second or third day that you came into the office and you taught us how to blend and how to aromatically dress. And to this day, I still reference your incredible, I want to say performance, because it really was this, who is this magical woman that's doing these things with these oils? And you were just like Mother Gaia to me. You really were. It was phenomenal. But what you did was you put those 3 oils together in the palm of your hand. And you did something like this.
Yeah, I placed it under the noses so you can all smell it.
Can you show us how that really works and how this then leads to you know what I would put in a diffuser blend?
Or on your body. So what you can do is you can take them and just keep them at an even level each. And then as you inhale them, just notice what you want more of and what you want less of. And then you can just kind of go, okay, that's yummy for me. So I want more of this. So that's the lemongrass. So in the diffuser, I might go 3 drops of lemongrass, 2 drops of ylang ylang and 1 drop of cedarwood. Yeah. So cedarwood's the base note, ylang ylangl's the mid note or the heart note, and lemongrass is your top note, the beautiful head note. It doesn't always have to be like that. I just happen to have this right now, right? So then if you wanted to make an aromatic dressing of this, though, even though you want the smell to be like this, I mean, the lemongrass is safe. You literally just place, let me just put those down and take a moment. You just place a couple of squirts of the fractionated coconut oil or your chosen carrier oil in the bowl. Shall we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So you want 10 to 15 mils, right? So we just put a couple of squirts of fractionated coconut oil, yeah, which stays liquid all year round. Those beautiful long chains. So now remember I said earlier less is more. So I know for me personally, I can definitely handle 2 to 3 drops of lemongrass. That's going to soothe my body, any aches and pains. It's going to help keep me focused and alert. Mental acuity's on. I'm going to feel uplifted. My spirit's soar. Ylang ylang takes me into this, that real maiden energy. It's playful. It's joyful. It's, and I'll go 2 drops of ylang ylang. And that's going to help level out that of lemongrass. Now, cedarwood, for the diffuser, I might only do, 1 drop. But in my aromatic dressing, I'll do 1 drop or maybe 2 drops in there. This is more viscous. You'll see it takes longer to come out. Viscous just means it's thicker. It's the viscosity. So that's the blend there. Now, if you smell that, like for me, for you like it, all right? So for me, I might go, oh, hang on, I need to balance it out with a little more something else. It could be that I add a little more cedarwood to ground it out, or I take something like wild orange. Okay, listeners, by the way, wild orange, if you feel like you've messed up a blend, just add a drop of Joy Bubbles and it will help.
Joy Bubbles.
It's wild orange. So it'll help just balance that out. Now have a smell. So you have the lemongrass and the wild orange playing together as the soprano singers, the tap dancers, the steal the show. Everyone's in awe watching that. Yeah. And then you have this coming in with ylang ylang on the dance floor and that bass. That bass we all love? That's that cedarwood coming in, holding the blend, carrying the blend. Now, I could have easily popped vetiver in there. So if someone came to me and said, I just need to slow down my mind, I can't sleep at night, as soon as I lay down, I'm struggling. Now, sometimes they're still drawn to something like lemongrass because it soothes them so much. See, this is where it can feel a bit crazy, like, no, lemongrass is just for the day. But no, you don't know how that lemongrass and its chemistry is responding to that person's. So what I would say is, if you're really loving the lemongrass and you're drawn to it, and that's your medicine right now, take the lemongrass and add a drop and add maybe 3 drops of vetiver. So vetiver is a root. It's going to ground you. It's going to connect you to Mama Gaia. It's going to also help slow down the mind. So vetiver and spikenard are our 2 roots. So if you don't like vetiver, you can use spikenard, right? Both of them are great for sleep, restoration, meditation. Same as lemongrass. Even though it has this uplifting energy and activating and can energize you, it also has, when you tee it up with these slowing down oils, the capacity to help you to just focus in on, okay, I'm going to focus on the breath. I'm going to focus on drifting to sleep or going into my morning devotionals or coming into meditation, whatever it may be.
Beautiful.
Right? Yeah. And actually the citrus oils, lemongrass, the foodie oils, ginger, like wild orange, lemongrass and ginger together are fantastic in the diffuser, right?
Yum.
And I love adding some cassia to that too.
In the kitchen? I can kind of picture
Yeah,
that in the
and
kitchen.
just diffuse it, kitchen, living area. Ours is an open plan space.
Yum.
But they're also incredible to make like a tea with, right? So you boil the kettle and then you take a spoon and you put a little bit of, not the fractionated coconut oil, the good quality virgin, extra virgin coconut oil, a good organic one, and or some honey on a teaspoon. And then you just put a drop of lemongrass and a drop of ginger, let's say, on it. You boil the kettle, pour that in your cup and let it cool down a little, right? So you don't bruise the essential oil molecules with boiling hot water. And then you just take that spoon and now you have maybe the virgin coconut oil or honey or a mix of both. You're going to add a drop of lemongrass, add a drop of ginger and stir that into your cup. And that becomes your tea. If you want to add some chamomile tea, freshly brewed tea, or freshly brewed, lemongrass with that, go for it. What they actually do is support your digestive system. They support your immune system. It supports cognitive function, helps you to feel grounded and connected and earthed, helps you to be present. Lemongrass is a great one for feeling present. Here we have my gift to you is purification. It's a great one for purifying. It's actually why it creates such a great barrier as a insect repellent. Right? And you can mix it with like geranium and arbor vitae. Of course, we've got terra arma, but you can create some incredible essential oils, lemon eucalyptus, to create this barrier around you as an insect repellent. So that's what it does physically. Energetically, it creates a protective barrier around you against those that would leech your energy, whether consciously or unconsciously. You can call them spiritual vampires, but bless them, they don't necessarily mean it. They just come and they talk to you. And by the end of it, they've laid everything out and they've had a bit of a vomit, right? You might feel exhausted at the end of it, but they feel amazing. You've held space for them. So you can use lemongrass to support you in that, to give a bit of a protective force field around you. Lemongrass, tea tree, and any of the eucalyptuses you love, right? With something like frankincense and rosemary. You place that on diffusing while these people come to visit you. So physically, the chemistry is an insect repellent. Energetically, right? It's kind of like the doctrine of signatures of the chemistry. That's going to help create a beautiful barrier protective force around you for emotional draining, mental draining, spiritual drainage.
It's almost like your history as well, where, it doesn't sit on either end of the spectrum in terms of your history, your background in education. They work in conjunction.
Absolutely.
And that's what these oils do as well. Lemongrass, for me, I'm not overtly spiritual in the sense of believing in ghosts and that kind of thing. But, when you walk into a room and you sometimes feel uneasy, I feel like something might... I don't feel 100% here.
Sure.
And one of my dear colleagues actually recommended this aura spray, which had lemongrass in it. It had frankincense, it had patchouli and geranium.
Gorgeous.
And the blend itself is just heaven. It is just so, so beautiful, just in a spray bottle with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, the rest water. And you can even use your old Terra Arma
bottle, upcycle it. Hand sanitizer, the On Guard hand sanitizer,
it's really
any of them.
Great way to repurpose those. But I tell you what, and it makes sense now from what you've just said as well. It's protecting. I felt better walking into that room afterwards.
Absolutely.
So interesting.
It's incredible. Like you can take Coast and put Coast. It already has lemongrass, but you might want to zhuzh it more with some extra lemongrass and make that into a spritzer bottle. To clear space. So spearmint is also another leaf oil. This is a beautiful one to add in a night blend if you were really drawn to lemongrass. So you could do vetiver, spearmint, lemongrass, and some petitgrain.
Ooh.
As a really beautiful sleep blend. Lang Ylang's great too. Cedarwood's great for sleep too. Petitgrain is often overlooked.
Totally.
Right? So petitgrain.
Oh, and I love the accents that are coming through as well. This is beautiful. So we know that lemongrass is going to really tap into both ends of the, not necessarily spectrum, it's probably going to be more so that it's so cohesive in the emotional and physical space. How do you like to use lemongrass at home?
Oh gosh, I actually have bottles of lemongrass going everywhere because I love the practicalities. So I have it in the laundry with oils like eucalyptus, tea tree and purify for the final rinse in my washing, and lavender actually. And sometimes a zhuzh and add extra to the doTERRA powder or liquid I'm using because I love it, the freshness. So I love that purifying effect. I have it under the kitchen sink because I use that lemongrass and wild orange to literally just clean. We have a great cleaning range in doTERRA, but I still will just put a few drops on the stovetop, in the oven, cooking, let it sit for a bit, wipe it down. It's really great for, hard to get out stains, the stainless steel sink. So I put it in a spray for, air freshener in the bathrooms. And then I really love it for, pain management.
Yeah, right.
Lemongrass. I'll always remember Dr. Hill when, we're on a presidential diamond trip, like Paul and I, and all of the guys decided, well, there were guys and girls, but the guys decided we're going to get in and get competitive with beach volleyball.
Oh, no.
And there were so many injuries because they're not all in their 20s anymore, God bless them. So Paul tore his meniscus I know there were so many. There were other people that did other things. Anyway,
Serious injuries.
Dr. Hill came and checked, and he said, "Okay, it's your meniscus. Takes a while to." Anyway, so back then, this was before we even had copaiba. He talked about the synergy between lemongrass and black pepper, the pain management. And obviously we have the anti-inflammatory responses that naturally occurring in them as well. So, and the beta-caryophyllene that's in copaiba anyway is in black pepper.
Yes.
So those two just went really beautifully. Yeah. So I always remember that pairing. So the ice blue's there, and so is my lemongrass and black pepper ready for any like pain and aches. And I'll often love to add frankincense, aside that I'm just, frankincense lover, right? The frankincense in there as well, because that'll just help calm everything down, calm you down when you're going through whatever trauma, like hurting yourself, and it has its own natural anti-inflammatory properties, etc. as well. Lemongrass with frankincense is a great all-rounder, and great as an energy spray. You're talking about your energy, your aura sprays. So so I have lemongrass wide and varied in a practical application as well. There's gorgeous little diffusers. They're the, what do we call them? The ones that they're just stagnant. No, the ones that are stagnant, like
the passive diffusers.
The passive diffusers. Yes. Thank you. Lemongrass on that. I have them in the actual toilets.
Yes,
is just really beautiful because it's a natural deodorizer.
Yeah.
In smelly shoes, lemongrass is great. Washing towels and sport clothes and socks. It's fantastic.
Totally. And it also, I see it as like that freshen upper.
Totally.
Especially when rooms seem like I can't get airflow coming through, like walk-in robes, the bathrooms. So I like to put it on like in a little bag with some rice. And so it kind of gets rid of any like
in the drawers, by the shoes, sports things. And also, something like try diffusing extra lemongrass with your Coast essential oil with this one here, or lemongrass with the Easy Air.
Okay.
Or Purify if you love that. Any of those three blends will purify the air, will help it. It's like a spring clean.
Yeah.
So when you feel like the air's stagnant, you're talking about, or a bit smelly or whatever, any of those three, Easy Air, Coast or Purify with extra lemongrass with it. Woo!
Beautiful. And look, the weather is just starting to warm up here. You can feel like, when you can smell that spring is in the air.
Yes.
You can feel like it's starting to come to Melbourne now because we've got a really long, dark, cold winter. It's been miserable.
Yeah.
That gets me so excited to think, when you can open up the windows, let that air flow in, and then use essential oils to just bicarb, vinegar, lemongrass. I feel like I just want to do it everywhere.
Keep it simple. And you've got lemongrass, melissa and litsea. All have the similar, like often people struggle to smell the difference between them if they're not used to smelling oil. So they're all very similar. So you can actually just create this like holy trinity with the three of them and add some frankincense, vetiver and copaiba. Yes. And it's incredible as a mood lift for mood management.
Wow.
Yeah, just cutting through because you have respiratory support, with essentials like frankincense and the litsea. Well, all of them do it, but let's just focus on those two and opening the lungs to expand and breathe. Because when someone is anxious or feeling down, low mood state, having an anxious response, right, or reaction or panicky or from a trauma, it's very difficult to breathe. Yes. So that synergy that I just shared with you is beautiful. And just pop them in a roller bottle and use them to anoint yourself.
Beautiful.
And watch what happens. It's very, very yummy.
We've gone through so many different routes so quickly, and it's just been so incredible. So to harness everything, all of your incredible magic that you hold in, and I don't want to, so we'll definitely record some more later on today because I feel like you are just shining with all of this incredible information today. Babe. But what would you like to leave us with today? What's something that can really translate how you feel these essential oils support us?
It's beautiful. I think for me, I feel like I want to say, remember that these come from Mama Gaia, from Mother Earth, and they're a gift. They're something to be treasured. The doTERRA essential oils are the most potent, pure essential oils I've ever come across. I've been a long time working with essential oils, and hand on heart, I can say they are exquisite. Less is more. Respect the resources. Respect the essential oils. Use them throughout the day, often and much. And Don't think that you need 10 drops because you're used to other quality, lower caliber essential oils. That 10 drops goes down to 5 or 3 in that particular spray bottle, and you will feel its effects. You'll feel the blessings coming through. You'll feel that song like a benediction through your heart, your cells, your home, your workspace, so deeply. Often people say, I have enough essential oils, I don't know what else to order. I'm like, my darlings, if you feel overwhelmed that you have too much or you have enough, are you using them? Are you lifting the lid off that bottle, and are you using them? They're there to be used, to be aligned with. Diffuse them, pop them in Epsom salts and bathe with them. Aromatically dress in them. So once we've done this, I should just tell everyone, after the shower or bath, dip and rub. Get it all over your body instead of moisturizers, or put it in the doTERRA unscented hand and body lotion. Get them in your food. Not all of them are for food. Check the bottle. But lemongrass, certainly.
Yes.
Get them in your hair care. Do final rinses with rosemary, lemongrass, ylang-ylang and cedarwood in the hair to invigorate you. Put a drop in your shower before you get in the shower of lemongrass, eucalyptus to smell, to inhale and reset your day. Simply take the lid off the bottle. Where's my lemongrass? Let's finish here. And just drop in. How can I be an instrument of your love, of your peace, of your service? Let me be your mouthpiece. It's a prayer I say to the divine every single day, and it's a prayer and a way I connect with the essential oils. It's what I did before this session together.
I saw you do that.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
I'm here to serve those that are listening, to serve the plants, to serve the animals, to serve our earth, and to serve Creator. This isn't about one person and how they use it. This is, when you smell this, how do you feel? Where do you feel it go? Where is it touching and blessing you? And how would you like to use this today? And go for it.
Incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Such a pleasure.
From the bottom of my heart for just being you and sharing all of your incredible wisdom. How do people connect with you if they want to learn more from you?
I'm on Instagram, _Vanessa _Jean, and Facebook. Yeah, of course I'd love to connect with you all. I think the most important thing is to remember this isn't about me. This is about you and your journey with essential oils. doTERRA serves us in the most phenomenal ways. They're so devoted, so dedicated. Can you love yourselves enough to share these essential oils, to touch and bless other lives? Because for every person you withhold sharing an essential oil from, it's like you're withholding that grace in a bottle, this miracle from other people. Share them with the world. And if you don't know how, ask the person who introduced you to doTERRA. They will show you how. And if they don't know how, ask the next person and the next person. Ask someone to guide you, to show you how, because more of the world needs these blessings. More of the world needs to know how to use these essentials. So many people still aren't using them. So let's bless the world. Let's create an impact. Let's triple our impact. Let's quadruple it. Let's do whatever it takes to have people feeling confident and comfortable using essential oils again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.